All right, my next guest, Gale Sayers Nelson, or Mr. One Take, as lots of people like to call him. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing well. This is great to be here today.
I invited you on the show because you sort of have a great pulse of everything that is important in this community. So I'm going to open it up with probably the biggest pressing question in this town of Miami, which is, what's up with the Dwayne Wade statue?
When I first saw it, I was like, "What?
What is this?
I mean, it was. I don't get it."
Yeah.
But then I will say this because I know some people over at the Heat.
Okay.
And some of those people.
That's why I'm asking you, because I know you got the inside track.
And some of those folks I think, have a direct hand, and that's I'll be very measured
Yeah.
in my response. But I like the fact that they, after all the reactions
Yeah.
to the statue, they showed the behind the scenes of D. Wade actually.
Signed off on it, right?
So then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And the people that I know over there, that's all about them. They're like, okay, just so you know.
Yeah, right. The man signed off on it.
When he signs off on it, game over.
Yeah, and he had a good sense of humor about it, which was
He
great.
really like, who's that guy,
Yeah.
right?
It was awesome.
So that's all I'm saying on that. No
Good
further comments.
Good stuff. So not only are you the king of Miami, but your journey started in Toledo, Ohio. How'd you get down to Miami?
Well, it's interesting. I was born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
Dad was a military police, Air Force, and he named me, well, my mom named me Curtis Anthony. Then my dad gets there, and he's like, no, that's the next Heisman. That's a Super Bowl champion. Gale Sayers Nelson was born.
That is a cool name.
Bryan Memorial Hospital, Lincoln, Nebraska. Hospital's still there.
Wow.
But then my parents split, divorced when I was 2 years old. And so my journey in terms of my childhood and everything else, adolescence, even my undergraduate degree, Toledo, Ohio. So those Midwestern values drives me today in business and in everything that I do.
For sure. How did you end up in Miami?
And so now the gale force winds of Hurricane Andrew brought Gale Sayers Nelson to Miami because my dad was in California.
Yeah.
Of course, I grew up in Ohio, as I mentioned, and I wanted to meet him. And so I flew out to California, met my dad at San Francisco International Airport, and Hurricane Andrew hit August 92.
Wow.
So as I think about just rebuilding,
Yeah.
reconciliation, and relationships, which all applies to business.
Yeah.
I met my dad to just meet him. I wanted the relationship.
Yeah.
Reconcile. That sounds
Sure.
kind of weird, but as a 2-year-old baby, hi, Dad, I'm your son. So we met. He's like, call me Dad. I'm like, let's work on that. Oh, hi, Rick.
Yeah, right.
Because my dad's Ricky Nelson.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, Ricky, let's start there.
Yeah.
And we'll do this dad thing over time. And so I'm very fortunate. Before he passed away down here in Miami, he came down here to help rebuild the neighborhood, the community.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm doing today. So Hurricane Andrew and my dad brought me to South Florida.
Before you were Big Brothers Big Sisters, a wonderful organization that we've been a part of for so many years.
Thank you for that.
What drove you to that? Like, what was your path to get into Big Brothers Big Sisters?
What's interesting, one of the first places my dad took me was a 44-acre campus down in South Dade, down on 87th Avenue, just outside of Black Point Marina.
Yeah.
And if you leave Black Point Marina, look to your right, there's a huge campus, and they stockpiled lumber and plywood and everything for the Andrew recovery. And my dad took me there to pick up supplies. And I ended up running that campus from 1993 to 2005. Bay Point Schools was the name of the organization. And these are court-committed boys, ages 13 to 18, who hung out. They weren't bad boys. They just made bad choices.
Yeah.
Choices.
Right.
And I had the pleasure of running that campus for 12 and a half years. So before I came to Big Brothers Big Sisters, I was helping these kids learn basic respect.
Yeah.
They had responsibility, and they took care of that campus. And it was one of the most powerful things I've ever done, because I saw their brilliance, but also saw that the power of making a bad choice should not define your life.
Yeah, especially
had
a
an
bad choice as a
opportunity.
kid. Kids does do terrible, stupid things, but that doesn't mean that we should throw them to the curb.
That's right. And the last time I checked, adults make mistakes too.
All the time.
Last time I checked.
From there, you go to Big Brothers Big Sisters. How'd you end up with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
And
And
so
by the way, most people, if you can, what is Big Brothers Big Sister? Because it's a fantastic brand. I don't think people know exactly what you guys do.
They really don't. And so
Right.
to your first question in terms of how I got there, I'm running this school, and I said, I want to get to kids before they get arrested.
Yeah.
Think about that. I see the brilliance of these kids. They didn't need to be fixed. They just needed exposure and mentorship.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know what? I want to do something else. I want to keep working with kids, but where can I go to get to these kids before they get arrested? 2006, July 2006, I started as vice president of programs at Big Brothers Big Sisters. What is Big Brothers Big Sisters? We're the first responders in the relationship business. What do I mean by that? We pair a caring adult or even a high school student with a child. And that mentorship relationship, we call it a match, big and little. We monitor the match relationship. We vet the kids in terms of their needs, interests, like kind of a needs assessment. We do the same thing with the adults. So I will interview you and say, okay, where'd you grow up? How'd you grow up? What do you like to do? Hobbies and interests. And we interview a kid that says, I've always wanted to do a podcast. I've always wanted to learn about business. We pair them up with you and watch them blossom.
And what's the commitment of somebody who wants to be a mentor?
To be a mentor, we affectionately call it, it's a minimum of 1 calendar year commitment.
Okay.
1 calendar year. And we know what happens? People are like, I don't want this to end.
Really?
And that we just give us a year, devote your time to this kid, help him or her just grow up and just spend that quality time. My little brother, Isaiah, on his birthday, he just turned 19. And I've been with him for like 4 years. And he said, I want to learn how to play golf. So I took him to Topgolf.
Really?
He missed the ball 19 out of 20 times. But when he made contact, I just saw the look in his eye. And I was back there. And, it gets to me. I was videotaping him trying to hit the golf ball. And then when he hit it and made contact, he turns around and smiles at me. I sent that video to his grandmother. And she's like,
the fact that you're just exposing them.
That's
that kid's never going to get on a golf course unless you take them.
That's exactly right.
And you expose them. And then you show them a whole different world. Is retention pretty high as far as a big signs up? They go, I'm going to do it for 1 year. And do they stick around? And how long do you see big stick around usually?
I love that question. The average retention rate for a big is about 3 years.
3
3 years. And we serve kids.
That's actually really good.
Which is incredible. You think about it, you don't put a time frame on a friendship.
Right.
And we have something, now Keem, that's the average. We have some matches that I've been with them since kindergarten and saw him graduate from high school. He was in my wedding. I think about, alumni big brother, Dan Gelber. He was matched as a little boy, and Dan Gelber went to Tufts.
Yeah.
And his little brother went to Tufts.
Really?
And his little brother is now a dentist he's a husband, father, and he's got his kids.
What an amazing story.
So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So we ask you for a minimum of 1 calendar year, and it can turn into a relationship that lasts a lifetime.
You're trying to get them downstream early.
That's it.
Right? And what's the age of a kid that can enroll in the program?
We start as early as 5 years of age, and we stay with them until age 25. So we want to get them to and through college, as well.
The commitment is 1 year. What are we talking hours-wise?
Now, someone could be a big and go to a school 1 hour a week.
Right.
That's the extent of the relationship. We call that site-based, site or school-based mentorship. Community-based mentoring, twice a month, couple hours a month. That's what I do with my little brother.
Yeah.
My little brother, Isaiah. Shout out to Isaiah.
There you go.
And so that's community-based mentoring. And then companies can get involved.
Really?
A company can commit once per month. Employees never leave the job. The high school kids are bused to the company, need a minimum of at least 20.
Yeah.
And it's 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock during the school day. And that's called school to work.
And what does an engagement look like? So I have a little, what am I talking to them about? Like, how do I sort of dig deep? Like, what is my mini podcast with the kid? What does that look like?
Well, first of all, no microphones.
No microphones. Yes.
It's like, hey,
I figured
tell
that.
me about your life.
Yeah,
But one of the things we will do is a community-based match will meet in the home.
Yeah.
But to keep in mind, we interview you, we interview the child, interview the parent. So you'll get context up front.
Good.
This kid really, really likes football. He's always wanted a football. So maybe first meeting, you take a football.
Right.
And that kid's eyes will light up.
Yeah.
And you just start tossing the ball around.
Yeah.
And you just start talking, hey, how's school going? Most likely that kid's going to open up through the lens of that football. So no two relationships are alike.
Correct.
But the context of the settings or the menu of mentoring options, when we do community-based mentoring, you're meeting them in their home setting. So you get a feel, get some context on what they're dealing with and what they're having to kind of cope with, if you will. And you take them not so much out of that, but you expose them to so much more. Because home is still home.
Right.
A loving mom, someone signed them up. And I tell people all the time, never lose sight of that. That mom cared enough to sign their child up, recognizing her limitations. And so to your question, when we expose these kids, community-based, what do you talk about? We just tell people, don't change your life in efforts to change theirs. Let them get to know you. Hey, what do you like to do? And what I do with my little brother, what do you want to do? See,
Yeah.
Top Golf wasn't my idea.
Right. It was his. Yeah.
He said, I want to learn to fish. I want to go to Top Golf. I've never been to a Marlins game. Never been to a Heat game. His first Marlins game was with his big brother. His first Heat game was with his big brother.
Yeah.
And I'm like all jacked up
Yeah.
over that. But what it does for him, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, you're exposing him to things that he'll never. But like, when do you think the connection starts? Like you start to probe and ask questions.
Yes.
Like what does that next step look like? Where you get to the good part, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
on
because these are
average.
kids that single family homes. I'm
Yes,
sure
yes.
come from who knows what kind of home life, and they need help and guidance.
That varies from relationship to relationship.
Right.
I've had situations where they said we hit it off right from the start.
Yeah.
My older brother wouldn't smile.
Really?
He wouldn't smile. And I'm like Mr. Picture guy, right?
I was about to say you're a very friendly guy.
Yeah,
You can't make somebody smile. That's tough.
And I tell you what, I had to whisper, and I'll tell you exactly what I told him.
Yeah.
We're at a Marlins game, and I wanted to send his grandma a picture.
Yeah.
Because he would not smile. We got matched. His grandma's like, I'm so happy. Thank you for being in his life. And he's just sitting there just staring at me.
Yeah.
And I take him I asked grandma, can I take him to a Marlins game? He said he wants to go to a Marlins game. And he's a couple words. What would you like to do? I like baseball. So you want to go to a Marlins game? You ever been? No.
Let's go.
Grandma, can I take him? So I take him to the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can you give my phone to someone? Can you take a picture? And I'm looking at him. He's just like tight-lipped. And I said, I whispered in his ear, just exactly what I whispered. I said, I'm a popular guy in Miami. And if people see you looking like that, they're going to think I kidnapped you. And he laughed.
Yeah.
He laughed.
Yeah.
I said, let's try it again. And it wasn't like, big Joker smile,
Yeah.
right? But I tell you
Crackle.
what, I saw a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
And so now I'll say, remember what we talked about. Whenever we take a picture,
Yeah.
he's smiling.
He's smiling.
But little things like that. And I tell people, don't compare your match
Mhm.
to someone else where you're thinking, well, that match hit it off they're doing high fives and fist
everybody's
bumps.
different. Yeah.
Everybody's different. I ask people, anybody that's got kids, do you treat them all the same?
Right.
I got 4 beautiful kids. My daughter, who's got the best jump shot in the house, makes my boys mad. But
Yeah.
my point is, you have those individual relationships. So it just takes time.
It takes time.
But I tell people, when you sign up to become a big, recognize the context of where these kids are coming from.
What kind of impact, like data-wise, that you've made on this community? What does it
my
look like?
gosh. Last year, I'll give you some examples. When you think about just the cost,
Yeah.
let's look at it from an investment standpoint first.
Yeah.
There's so many feel-good stories I can share.
Yeah.
But from a business
From a
standpoint,
business standpoint.
the bottom line,
Yeah.
to incarcerate a child in the state of Florida, you're talking $75,000 to $80,000 per child
Wow.
on an annual basis. To mentor a child, the annual cost is between $1,500 and $2,000.
Wow.
Let that simmer for a
Yeah,
minute.
I mean,
that's
the
a
return is
no-brainer.
fantastic. It's a no-brainer.
That's a
Right.
no. So that's the investment. Now you think about little sisters like Chantel,
Okay.
who was matched with her big sister Amy,
Yeah.
who's now a registered nurse. But where does Amy work? She works at Baptist Health. She was exposed.
She was exposed, right? So exposed to a world that she wasn't even on her radar.
That's it. I think about little brother Darren. Lost his dad, unfortunately, when he was a little boy. His mom signs him up. Well, little brother Darren liked football.
Yeah.
Little brother Darren was all day at Miami Norland. Little brother Darren went on to University of Miami, played for a coach first named Jimmy,
Wow.
won 2 national championships. Little brother Darren went on to play for Jimmy, coach Jimmy Johnson with the Dallas Cowboys, 2 national championships, 2 Super Bowl championships.
Wow.
Little brother Darren Smith.
Um,
And by the way,
Wow.
bachelor's degree, master's degree, he's a husband and father, and I got him on speed dial. That's the kind of impact.
Yeah. That's
So
yeah.
again, with a name like Gale Sayers, I cannot promise that every little is going to have a Super Bowl trophy
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Darren, but I can guarantee you they're going to be successful in the game of life.
What are some of your bottlenecks right now? What
Oh, my
in the organization? Because I know that you're always trying to scale, and we go to
Yes.
all your events, and they're amazing. What are
Thank
some
you.
of those bottlenecks?
One of the biggest bottlenecks is people need to understand that everything we provide to the families is free. It's a free service.
Okay.
There's no memberships.
Right.
That mom that calls us, Darren's mom called us, we responded.
Yeah.
Chantel's parent called us, we responded. And so one of the biggest bottlenecks is actually fundraising. The cost of just running the business, because we don't exist without our special events, individual giving, private grants, and all
Yeah.
of that. But also we think about fundraising, always trying to make sure that we can serve more kids.
Mhm.
In order to serve more kids, we need more donors. Not only that, in order to serve more kids, we need more bigs. The biggest bottleneck is women volunteer at a rate of 3 to 1 compared to men. So we need more male bigs to sign up.
Why do you
'Cause
think
that waiting list.
why is the gap? What,
Men and commitment. How about that? So let me ask you. Let me turn that right back on you. Men
You're talking to a guy that got married at age 41. So
there you go. What
Yeah.
took you so long?
Exactly.
That's it. And so guys think, I really and truly, to all the guys out there, one of the things I share with them, I'll say, have you ever thought about being a big? He said, I don't know. That's a lot. I said, it's not adoption. The kid goes home.
Yeah,
And
right.
And you can start off by seeing a kid in a school. That's where I started.
Yeah, right.
It was once a week in a school, and I will never forget. I called my wife after meeting my little brother and my first little brother, Richard.
Yeah.
And I called him Little Richard.
Yeah.
So I went to see little Richard at his elementary school in Miami Gardens, and I was so excited because he was excited.
Yeah.
They put me in a library. They said, your big brother's here. Send Richard to the library. I'm hearing him running down the hall.
That's awesome.
He comes in. We did a Spider-Man coloring book, went through some other stuff, looked at his homework, and I called my wife. I said, we got another kid. And there was an uncomfortable silence on the phone.
She's like, wait a minute.
I said, I just became a big brother. She's like, okay, say that next time.
Yeah,
a different way maybe. But it's just so cool. But people always tell me and tell us at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I signed up to help a kid.
Yeah.
But I'm getting so much more out of this.
I hear it all the time. We've done it for many years. We did
Absolutely
on the corporate side. The amount of people who gave me the feedback that they're like, that kid thinks they got a lot out of me, and I hope they did, but I got a lot out of that kid. And I learned a lot, and I was exposed to stuff. So many wonderful stories. Where can people find out about Big Brothers Big Sisters?
In order to find out, go to our website,
Yeah.
bbbsmiami.org. That's bbbsmiami.org. And they can sign up, and we can get them set up in whatever program makes sense for them. School-based, corporate mentoring, or community-based mentoring as well.
Before you leave, I got a game for you. You ready?
Let's go. I love it.
You love games. You're one take, Gale. Don't worry, I know your nickname.
I like easy games.
All right,
I like games I can win.
This is an easy game. It's called Rapid Fire Questions.
Rapid Fire Questions. All right, here we go.
Right. In your biopic, because you've done so much, who plays you?
Denzel Washington.
I thought you were going to say Billy D. Williams because he played
that's
Gale
funny.
Sayers.
Brian's song. That's true. That's true.
I was hoping you were going to say Billy D.
That was pretty good.
Denzel would be a great guy to play you. All right. Let's talk basketball. We just had an election.
Yes.
Who wins one-on-one, Obama or Abe Lincoln? Abe Lincoln was like 6'6".
See,
Long arms.
Abe Lincoln would post up Obama then probably do a sky hook with his hat on.
Smooth.
And Obama would then kind of just step behind the three-point arc.
Yeah, he's more of an outside guy.
He's more of the outside shot, smooth shot. So when you think about the three-pointers versus the sky hook, it takes longer. He's going to beat him on the threes.
He's going to beat him on the threes? Obama? Okay. Obama by 3.
Because it's going to be a time, because you only can, time-limited game.
Okay, you're an Ohio guy.
Yes.
Will the Browns ever win a Super Bowl in our lifetime?
No.
I'll end it with that. Because I'm starting to think the Dolphins are the same way right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty painful. And your Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, they're all in the same category.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
And my kids are telling me like, okay, Dad, you're a big Cowboys fan, and we've never seen you happy at the end of the season. I was like, okay, go to your room.
Go to your room. Get out of here. It's been since '93. I haven't been happy.
That's exactly right.
You could own one exotic pet. What would it be?
Exotic pet. Oh my goodness, man, that's a tough one. An exotic pet.
What do you think? Like a cheetah?
I'm big on that. Cheetah's kind of cool.
Cheetah's kind of cool.
That cheetah's really cool. You know what I like about it? I'm a Black Panther.
There you go.
Because I mean, just subtle. It was like, don't mess with me, or a cougar.
Either
one.
Don't mess
Either
with
one,
me.
because it's just I want people to know he's there. So when I go and do a pitch for Big Brothers Big Sisters, I hope you respond well. I hope you respond
there goes
favorably.
The Black Panther.
Because if not, then you're gonna meet my little friend.
All right. What's one white guy song you like? You know what I'm talking about.
Well,
like all my black friends have like one white guy song, like AC/DC,
no,
Simon and Garfunkel.
Let me tell you.
You got a lot.
I went to school. I went to high school, Bowser High School in Toledo, Ohio.
Okay.
And so my go-to jam with all my white friends was Def Leppard Photograph.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
It's a great song.
That or Tom Sawyer by Rush.
Oh my God, Tom Sawyer. You can't get a more white song than that.
That's what I'm talking about. But I mean, you think about it, but it's got some soul to it. Both of them.
You're actually right.
They both, if you really think about it, I can dance to Photograph and Tom Sawyer. Because it's got
both of those.
So there you go.
There you go. All right,
I gave you 2 with buy one, get one free.
One last one. How many points do you think you could score in a game versus a JV basketball team?
Today?
Today,
Right
right now.
now.
I suit you up.
You suit me up.
Couple of your little brothers are on the team.
Me and
JV
some
basketball.
little brothers. The JV basketball team.
Yeah.
I'm dropping 40.
You're dropping 40?
I'm dropping 40.
What
You're
you
talking like this is a regular, I mean,
Yeah, 14, 15-year-old guys, yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah, I'm dropping 40.
You
Because they're
think-
not playing defense.
They're not playing defense. You can post them up.
I'm posting their butts up every time. Just keep feeding me. I will have the little brothers feed me the ball. And then, because you know what?
Post up like Karl Malone style. Like
No doubt. I'm backing them down.
Like
I'm
Barkley.
going to back them
Big
down
butt.
just like that. You know, with MJ, it's
Yeah.
like I'm doing back and butt.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to do a little Hakeem Olajuwon. You know,
Yes,
just
the
I'm
dream
dropping
shake.
40 on them.
You're dropping 40.
Yeah, no doubt. Just post that on social media.
I'm going to post that. All right,
I'm
my
telling
man.
them.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We had a blast.
Excellent.
And you did it in one take.
One take.
Thanks, man.